Yo, what's up? Dark Celia 800 back again. And I'm gonna make probably the first ever What If Deku was Sly Cooper. And I've been wanting one of these for a long time. Sad that no one ever created one. I've looked throughout the entire internet of YouTube and haven't found a single one. So I'll start us off. And if I'm wrong about that, please send me the info so I can watch it. Because I've been a fan of this series since I was 5 years old. And it was one of the first games I've ever played. Which also got me into the stealth class. But let's begin. The story starts off with probably the most common thing I've made so far, the death of Sly Cooper. That can happen either way. It could be if a Sly 5 game ever comes out, or you could just leave it up to your imagination and say he never got out of Egypt. But anyway, after his death, he was somehow brought back to life inside Deku, and there will be a few changes. So, for one, Deku will have blue hair and brown eyes like Sly. I mean, he doesn't technically have blue hair, but that is technically his signature color. So, I'll stop. And after a few years, Zuko would feel something strange. Like he wanted to take something, but not from an ordinary person. He felt like he had to take something from a villain, a thief, or a fake hero. And this will be a new one. I'm skipping from the signature hero Deku because it's just way too easy. Eventually, after he turned 4, same thing would happen in canon, and he wouldn't be friends with Bucko would bully him, and he, while he was watching an All Might video, he suddenly just passed out, eventually waking up inside a dark place, with him saying, "Hello? Is anyone there? It's dark. Can you please tell me if someone is there?" Eventually, you would see the figure of what seemed like a humanoid raccoon with a cane with a golden like hook. I'm not sure of the material Sly used for his cane, but it looks awfully gold like. So I'll just leave it to that. The figure would then say, "Hello, little kid. Do you know where you are?" With Zuko saying, "No. Who are you?" The figure would then come out of the shadows saying, "My name is Sly Cooper. I'm a thief from a long family of thieves. Thieving is the family business, but we're no ordinary thieves. We only steal from other thieves. Because if you take something from a civilian, you're a thief. But if you steal from a thief, you know you're a master thief." eventually, he would then see the kid Izuku's memories, closing his eyes and stroking his chin, thinking, this kid has gone through a long, long life. Tortured. Broken. But he still has his mother. Wish I could say the same. But anyways, kid, you're my reincarnation. With his tilting his head with a confused look, saying, reincarnation? What's that? What does that mean? Like, remember, Izuku may be smart, but he's still technically 4 years old. And pretty naive. But anyway, Sly then said, reincarnation means after I died, my soul or essence was brought back in you. In fact, many of your traits are from me. The blue hair is technically my signature color. And the brown eyes is from me. And I'm gonna give you an ancient relic passed down from Cooper to Cooper, called the Thieves Raccoonus. Anyone who reads it becomes especially stealthy, having the ability of one of many, many things. Being able to stand on a small point while as light as a feather. The ability to turn invisible. And able to channel electricity or fire. Which, in Sly 2, there is the shock attack ability in The Predator Awakens, which I just recently played the game, and it's a lot of fun. Too bad it's a bit scratched up and I can't play against the Katessa. But anyway, enough about my life. Back to the story. Whoa, so what's your quirk? Izuku said with starry eyes. Sly, he was confused, saying, what's a quirk? Izuku then tells him what quirks are. Sly then said, oh, I don't have that. I may look like some ordinary human with a quirk that makes me look like a raccoon, but I'm from another dimension where, as I should say, anthropomorphic animals is the norm. From hippos all the way to black widow spiders. Which, if you didn't know and and haven't played Sly 2, the Katessa is greatly inspired from a black widow spider. If you see her red dress, black body, and a hourglass on her dress. But anyway, and I'm gonna help you become a master thief. Izuku then stood up. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, Izuku got up and determined, saying, I'll do it. Because if he couldn't be a hero without a quirk, if he couldn't be a hero without a quirk, he would then become the next best thing. Since Sly is technically a vigilante, Like Carmelita said, they just fight on opposite sides of the law. Sly in the shadows in the black market, and Carmelita in the law in broad daylight. But anyways, after a few months, a villain would then show up with, strangely, a similar looking cane, but a bit bladed at the end. Like on the outer hook part of it, it's sharpened. The villain burst in and, and demanded that Inko hand over her everything she got. When Izuku heard, he instantly hid inside a closet, which he managed to. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Izuku then saw as his mom refused and got killed. I know I hate this as well, but it's for plot. But anyway, Izuku was overfilled with emotion that he somehow. I'm just gonna say he gained the attributes of Sly. And gained his iconic look. I know, makes no sense. But what the heck, it's mine, what if. So anyway, Zuko, overflowing with anger, he ran out of the closet and punched the guy in. Well, I don't want to say it because it could get me demonetized, but let's just say he did Johnny Cage's signature move. And as a guy myself, that is horrifying to think of. But anyway, the guy, he dropped his cane. Izuku then picked it up and attacked the villain, not killing him, but merely knocking him out, since the guy was like a boss, and unlike the minions where you can kill as many as you like, you can't kill a boss. Which I find it strange in the Sly concept. But anyways, Izuku, who then ran out of the house with a tired looking man with seemingly dry eyes, came into the Midoriya household and saw the state with Inko dead and the villain knocked out. He arrested the villain and eventually questioned him, with the villain saying, "I don't know what you're talking about." Eraserhead. Eraserhead then sighed and walked out of the room, eventually coming back, bringing a young purple-haired boy who was like Aizawa 2.0. The kid asked him, "What's your name?" The villain saying, "I ain't gonna tell you, you bruh." He then paused, seemingly spacing out, with the kid then saying, "Gotcha. Now tell us, what happened?" The villain then said, "I busted through the family's door, hoping to get stuff for my sister's operation. And unlike some people who believe in the My Hero Academia universe where villains just do stuff for fun, Some villains just do stuff because they have to either help them, not just themselves, but family, friends, you name it. But anyway, the guy then said, I didn't want to kill him, but I couldn't let anyone know who I was. I didn't know who the woman had a child, because I wouldn't have killed her then. He then hid me down there and took my cane. Along that with a hook at the end of it. Spray painted golden with a malleable alloy. The kid then said, Alright, headbutt at the table, with the villain doing so and got knocked out in the process. The kid walked out with Eraserhead saying, Good job. Good job. I can't remember his name. Like, I know who the character is. He has the brainwashing quirk. I know who he is. I just can't get his name out. But anyway, back to Izuku. Izuku was laying on top of a roof, crying. He knew he couldn't mourn over his mother forever, since he didn't want to go to an orphanage and be separated from Kachan. But he didn't want to go to Kacha because he was afraid of him. So he ran into an abandoned warehouse, where he then eventually made it his home. Not much, but it'll do, Izuku said. Izuku then stole some fabric materials to make a suit, a costume. He then stole a black mask, a blue hat, and blue gloves, and blue boots. He then somehow managed to write down the entire Thievius Raccoonus, since Sly did tell him everything, and he could technically see it in his head. So let's just say he managed to make a copy of it. Izuku then may put the costume on, with him looking like a younger version of Sly. With him going out, spiral jumping onto a pole, sat down and looking at the city at night. But for some reason, he saw a glimpse of what seemed to be a fox-quirked girl with a police officer, which he knew because it was their neighbor. He had to focus and saw a robber trying to steal from an old lady. He went down, knocked the guy out, and took the money he had on himself and handed the old lady's stuff back. Eventually jumping... Sorry, I got some hiccups. Eventually jumping out back onto the rooftops with a hero coming by. He's seeing it, asking the old lady what happened, with her saying, a young boy, he jumped down and knocked him out. with a blue costume. The hero then and looked up, unbelieving, and that's where I'm gonna leave off.